Hello and welcome to the Slapshot Syndicate podcast. Be sure to subscribe for more content, and whilst you're at it, go and follow our social media pages. They're on screen now. Now, on to the episode.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Slapshot Syndicate. Today we're joined by one of Northern Ireland's most exciting young forwards, Cam Hamill. After a strong year with the Bristol Pit Bulls, Cam's back for another season. Fresh off being voted Players' Player of the Year, he's known for his gritty edge. This season, his points touch and never backing down from a challenge on or off the puck. With a reloaded Pitbull squad and high expectations, we're going to talk about all things last season and this season, his big hopes for the season and plenty more. So first of all, Cam, thanks for coming on and welcome to the show.
It's no worries. Thanks for having me.
How's the off-season been for you so far?
Yeah, pretty nice to relax for a couple of months, spend some time with my family I don't get to see often anymore, but I'm definitely excited to get back to it soon.
I was about to say, you nearly sounded like you weren't missing the hockey then.
No, definitely not. It's just around the corner, so we'll get there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an interesting season so far, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of movement with players around different teams and stuff, so I don't really know what's going to happen yet with obviously standings and stuff. People can have their own opinions, but really no one knows until we get going in September.
Yeah, that's it. And as a fan looking in, you can sort of have your opinion and guess, but that's all it is. It's a guess. I mean, no one actually knows. Fans act like they know everything about it, or like they play the sport. So it's quite funny, really, including us.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say we're some of them. So I guess the first thing we're going to talk about was your season last season and you sort of flying the flag for Bristol. So obviously last season didn't go Bristol's way as a team, but personally for you, it was one of your best seasons. I think it was actually your best season so far in terms of you starting in your hockey career. Sorry. So how do you reflect on your year?
I think one of the main things that gave me a good year was I'm still pretty young. It was only my third year in the league. The first year obviously shared it between Hull, Milton Keynes and Solway. After the first 30 games, I decided that it maybe wasn't the best thing for me at the moment. So this year, getting a full year at Bristol, and I settled down pretty quickly. I feel like that was definitely one of the positives I had. Gave me a bit more confidence on the ice as well, being somewhere I was comfortable playing and felt like home to me, really.
I think that stability was important, being at Bristol the full duration and, you finding your role in the team.
Yeah. I mean, last year in Bristol, it was pretty evident from the start that I was going to play a bigger role than what I had in the past couple of years. Obviously, it was hard to get ice time at Milton Keynes. They're a great team. I thought I played pretty well at Milton Keynes as well. The points didn't really show how well it actually played there. I was playing a different role than what I was as well, which would maybe suggest a couple of the reasons why that happened. But yeah, last year, definitely was able to show more of what I can do, and it's going to get better from now as well.
Sorry, I just jumped in there, didn't I? But I just thought, was there a moment, during this season where you thought, yeah, this is where I need to be, and I'm finding my game here?
Yeah, I mean, I actually did start off pretty slow this year. I think the first 7 games didn't have any points. I was still trying to find my feet in the team, and then once I kind of got to know everyone and sort of really enjoying my time there is when it really picked up for me.
And obviously, you ended up with your highest points in total since 10 in pro, but you've also kept that sort of enforcer edge to you. And do you feel like that's allowed you to find your identity a bit more in the league itself?
Yeah, no, it's the type of player that I am, so I feel like that's something that I'll always bring most nights, definitely. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that is part of the reason. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say on that bit. Yeah, it's just the way I've always played, and we'll probably continue that way as well.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously that's how it looks to a fan. But is there a side of your game you think fans still probably underestimate at the minute? Like obviously you will know as a player a role you play in a team, but from the outside looking in, that might not always be apparent.
No, I actually had a lot more penalty minutes last year than what I thought it was going to have. I don't really know what happened there. I didn't feel like I overdone it at any point. Just kind of started tallying up. Obviously put a good load of points up this year too, which showed the other side of the game that I do have. Another thing that most people don't know is actually, I think, it was joint top penalty shot scorer last year in the league. So I think I ended up with 9 or 10, I think I scored. So I got a reputation for that there as well. Yeah, but hopefully I score a few more goals this year and really sort of develop the offense side as well.
Love that.
Yeah,
those little stats like that are ace, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like no one ever knows that really, unless obviously they're on your side. So that's some stat, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good one. It was also because I'd never had the opportunity to take one, obviously being at the bigger clubs before. Not saying Bristol isn't a big club, but I definitely played more of a role this year, and got an opportunity to do something like that. That I kind of surprised myself too, to be honest. Halfway through the season, like, flip me, I'm getting good at these. Yeah, and it just went on and went on. And cemented my spot in the shootout team.
Well, I think that did reflect by the end of the season, didn't it? Because you was voted Players Player of the Year in Bristol by all your teammates. What did that mean to you coming off, quite a tough season?
Yeah, it was amazing, really, because that awards for someone that's respected around the locker room, obviously, and all the boys have a lot of time for, which meant a lot to me, especially as a new face to the team as well. To be welcomed in by everyone right off the bat, and to get that at the end of the year showed kind of my time there. Really, I loved it from start to finish.
And I don't, and obviously it was amazing that you got that. And we've played sport before, haven't we? And to have that adoration from your teammates is amazing. But that was also shared from the fans, and I think you're more than aware of that. We saw plenty of Hamill jerseys around on the playoff weekend and stuff like that. Yeah. And somebody I chat to called Ben, he's a big Bristol fan. I don't know whether you might follow his accounts on Sutpuck. Yeah. I spoke to him and he was like, you need to get Cam Hamill on. He's a fan favourite. Everyone's going to want to hear from him. So again, how have the fans impacted your game? Like, have they give you more confidence, and do you feel that on a match night?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things where I've been quite fortunate everywhere I've played so far. I think it's the type of game that I play, that they really like me, and yeah, I can feel the energy every time I'm on the ice that they're rooting for me. So it's amazing, yeah.
And do you think that re-energizes you going forward as well, knowing that you want to sort of cement yourself in this team, and you've got a lot to give to the team, and it just really reinforces that?
Yeah, 100%. And it's definitely nice being somewhere that you're loved too. It can definitely boost your game that extra bit with the confidence that you gain from it.
Did you not feel that at Hull?
I did, yeah. I love my time at Hull, to be honest. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It was just, it just wasn't for me at the time. I was only young, yeah. 17 at the time. Of moving away from home, it was challenged at some point. And I started off the year in Hull pretty well, to be honest. I think I scored the first ever goal for the Seahawks. And that's something that I'll remember forever.
It's a stat.
Yeah, I've still got the puck downstairs, actually.
Oh, that's class.
Possession. So, yeah, I loved my time there as well. And, yeah, I love the fans. They definitely boost me on.
On the flip side as well.
Cool.
I think, to be fair, you just touching on Hull there, like me and Brad haven't been watching hockey for all that long. Our first season was actually when you were at the Seahawks, and I remember definitely the first game that we went to watch was near Christmas time, and you were playing, and obviously, like you say, young lad, everyone rooted for you, and someone hit you against the boards, and like now in hockey, we know that, you know, everyone protects the young lads or the imports or whatever. But it was the sudden rush of all the Seahawks players like on the guy who'd done that to you. And it just blew my mind as never watching ice hockey before, being like, what is this sport? But then again, you got straight back up, dancing around people and doing bits and bobs. And we was looking at each other as if to be like, what is this? Like,
not first.
But it was ace, and you was obviously part of that, the initial us wanting to go back and stuff, weren't you? So fair play to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So going on to what the current season's going to look like, the 2025-26 season. Obviously, Bristol's had a massive summer, made some great recruitment. Can you just give us a little bit of insight as to what it's like on the inside?
I'm honestly not sure. I've seen the roster that they've signed. Some guys I don't know much about, but I know that we've definitely got a lot more depth this year that we struggled with last year, because we went through a spell of results that we actually were playing pretty well for a number of weeks. And we had a small squad though, so quickly as injuries started coming and suspensions, we didn't have much depth to carry us through. I think that's what hurt us the most last year, because we didn't have a bad team. We just struggled at some points of the year with depth whenever there was injuries and suspensions.
And when you re-signed for Bristol, then did you know what the roster would look like this season, or was it quite a bit of a surprise to you?
I knew briefly some of the big names that were coming. I knew about, which definitely intrigued me to come back for another year. But I signed pretty early in the off season, like pretty much after the last game. I think it was at Coventry had actually signed the game for the year after. So I didn't know everyone that was coming, but I did know briefly.
So obviously there's no hard in that, you know, you've got that extra depth, and actually some people might say that, you know, where you guys finished last season, it might have not been a fair reflection, like you've just touched on actually. But this season's completely different. Everyone's signed, but, you know, Bristol, every time Bristol have put a signing out, everyone, you know, their eyebrows have been raised. So, like, it feels like a big opportunity for you guys to sort of push up the table this season. Do you think that the squad with, you know, those, I say big names, but, you know, it's not just about signing the big names, is it? It's all the way through. Like, do you think that the squad's ready to compete with the big boys?
Yeah, 100%. I think the team's definitely strong enough this year. Without a doubt, we have to make playoffs this year. There's no question. I think it's Bristol's fourth year in the league now. They're an established team, starting to get a few big players on the roster. So without a doubt, we should make playoffs. And we'll see where that comes.
And what kind of, I know it's a bit trivial at the moment, but what kind of hockey do you think fans from Bristol can expect to see this year?
Definitely want to say fast, aggressive on the forecheck for sure. We've got a lot of young guys that are wanting to prove a point, so there'll definitely be fast plays, and with a few big boys in the team this year. Definitely one of the taller teams, so it should be pretty physical too.
Just a side question, is it going to be weird that you're not part of the brothers this year, in terms of both the Williams being here? I bet you and Carter are used to being like the brother duo. It's going to be you're going to be on the other side this year.
I don't really know how it's going to feel, but it should just feel normal. But there is another couple of brothers have joined the league too at Milton Keynes.
Yeah, that's right.
We actually know them well. We played at Great Britain with them. They're two great players as well. So it'll be nice to see a couple more familiar faces in the league this year.
And I mean, the question that might be burning in every Bristol fan watching this: are you excited to play with the likes of Brick Null and Dunbar and Batch? You know, those are some big signings, aren't they? Like, there was whispers around Coventry, Jake Bricknell might be going to Bristol, and it's like he's playing today. What you on about? You know, stuff like that. But you know, like that's a massive signing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive signing. It's one of the statement signings that I would say that we needed to make to prove a point this year. You think he was the top goal scorer in the league last year, so to have that name in your squad, it definitely gives you a bit more confidence on the offensive side. And yeah, hopefully a I get to play with him a bit and see what that happens.
And obviously, so just moving on to the division itself, it's absolutely stacked full of great players. It seems like it's raised another level this season, or it's going to, and we're just yet to witness it. But for you as a player and as a team, is there any particular team you've got sort of circled on your calendar who you really want to go and take it to? I know that again that's a question. Obviously, you'd want to turn up and compete against everybody, but you must have some people setting your sights where you think we're either going to shock them or we're just going to beat them whilst their eyes aren't open.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Since I joined Bristol, the boys had me well warned that the Bristol Swindon games get a bit heated sometimes, and it's obviously the local derby. And I quickly realised what that was all about whenever I joined. And Swindon's obviously looking pretty strong this year, as everyone can tell. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in them games this year.
At least you didn't go and take the best player, though, Solway not on your calendar.
For sure. I always like playing against my brother. We actually have a double header against them in February in Dumfries. Most of the family should be over for that one, so it'll be interesting.
Great, that's mega. And I mean, obviously, you have those connections to MK as well and Hull. Are those games that you like getting up for?
Yeah, for sure. I like getting up for every game. I like every game the same. You want to go into the game and win, right? So you gotta treat every game like it's your last almost. And we realised last year that coming towards the end of the season to make that playoff push. We were thereabouts. It just sort of falling off. But throughout the season, there was games that we should maybe have nicked an extra point in, or should have took the win. We'll let the game go from us at the end of the season. It hurt us, dropping them points throughout the year. So, yeah, I'd like to think that all the boys are excited for every game this year.
And is there any particular rink where you absolutely love playing, and or is there as a side to that, is there any particular rink you absolutely hate playing at?
I want to say I hate playing on Hull now. For whatever reason, I'm now hated there. So it's always interesting going there and getting the reception from the fans, even when you're walking from the changing room onto the ice. Yeah, it gets interesting sometimes.
I think it's all out of love, really.
Yeah, no, it is.
Hull are a funny bunch.
Definitely a good laugh. And the rink that I would say, it was actually Milton Keynes. I love playing in the most just because it was a big rink. It's always packed out. But Bristol now, actually, it's my favourite rink to play in. The fans are just electric. You just hear that building erupt every time you step on the ice. And they sell out pretty much every game, which is something that amazed me for a team that hadn't done so well in the past. It just shows you if Bristol can get moving this year and put a few more points on the board, that place is going to be rocking every night.
It's class.
Yeah, just thinking as well, when you are in Hull, if you get into the penalty box, as our mate, he likes to chirp, so you'll probably hear something from him.
Yeah.
And again, that's all out of love.
I think I was actually injured for 2 of the games that I didn't play this year. I think one or two of the games that I didn't play away in Hull this year. So
I'm sure. Yeah, I recall going up to the bar, and I'm sure that I saw you there, and I thought that he's not in the squad, but he's here and stuff. Yeah, I remember that actually.
I don't know if that was me in the bar,
Oh, not drinking, just for the coaches and stuff like that. They definitely want drinking.
I think sitting up there watching the game, it's a bit warmer in there.
Yeah, can confirm. He was behaving on best behaviour. Well, I think obviously we touched on last season, touched on this season. Let's talk about you. So, I mean, you've built a reputation as someone who's going to drop the gloves, throw a hit, and still chipping points like that. As a player, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah.
So, which part of your game are you most proud of right now?
Definitely most proud of putting up more points this year and showing my offensive side, because definitely the first few years, I wanted to get my name out there, and I feel like I've done that now. I definitely don't want to be fighting as much and as much penalty minutes this year. I want to produce more on the point side, and bring the biggest benefit to the team that I can.
You got a big opportunity for that this season with those additional, that additional depth and the additional quality, aren't you? So that's got to be an exciting prospect for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, you said that you don't like doing that side of the game and stuff like that, but it is something that you're good at, and you can get the crowd going and stuff like that. So, but I guess like this season, then is that just something that you want to be is one piece of the puzzle rather than what sums you up?
That's not me saying that I'm never going to fight again or never do something silly, but I'm definitely going to try produce more this year for the team. If someone say injures someone in the team, that's like it's something that I bring to the team that it's in my nature that I feel like I have to go and do something. But yeah, definitely going to try and keep it to a minimum this year. I think the team this year's a lot stronger, and we should be winning a lot more games. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, and you and Carter have both had that edge, haven't you? So it's like, is it always something you've had, or it's like since juniors, or something you've had to develop over time?
So I've been asked that question a few times before. So I think where it came from was whenever we were growing up playing juniors, we had a small team, and we had pretty much started from nothing. Obviously, it's not a big sport over here. Well, it's getting big now. The Giants are getting better and better every year. But our junior team wasn't very good. 3 under 10s, 12s, 14s. So I think playing like gritty and hard to play against was something that we had to bring to try and compete with the teams. And then as we got older into like 16s and 18s, we started. We actually won the league in our last year, and we played juniors together. So it showed the development, how far we came from a young age. But definitely that must have came from battling against teams when we were younger, having to do stuff like that to try and compete. I think that's where it came from. But apart from that, I don't really know.
So I was just going to say a side question to that. And if there's a tilt between you and your brother, who comes away from it better off?
What a question that is.
We don't know. We don't know, actually.
It's all circumstantial.
I don't think it'll ever happen, to be honest.
No.
We've talked about it. We've joked about it a few times. But yeah, we don't know unless it'll happen once.
That'd be a spectacle, wouldn't it?
I was going to say, when you started asking that question, I just visualised in my head like 2 little twins, like 7-year-old, and parents having to be like, get away from each other. I thought you were just going to be like me and Carter was just scrapping all the time when we was kids. But it's more you're looking after each other, and that's good.
Yeah, of course.
Love that. So, I mean, you've seen both ends of the table then in this league. MK Cup winners, loads of success, and obviously this season and in Hull. To be fair, Hull was starting out on quite low, but Bristol were at the side of the table which you don't want to be at this season. So, going into this season, do you think Bristol know what separates like a playoff caliber team to one that struggles, or what in your opinion, what does separate that? What do you need in a team to be able to be successful?
To be honest, last year we had the base of a decent team that it takes to compete at the top end of the table. We're just lacking a couple of older guys, more experienced guys, like more winners. You've got like Batchy and Brick Null and Dunn obviously been there too. They're all board winners, so I think that's what we were lacking last year. A couple of guys that know how to win, older, that know how to guide everyone through, because we are young Brits, so we got pretty much a lot of talent there. A lot of talent there. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. But as I said, our young Brits are actually very talented, and we just needed a bit more guidance from older guys. So we've definitely got the experience this year to do that.
Cool. So we'll move on then into a little bit about sort of like off the ice and the fan base. Obviously, you've talked about Bristol having such a strong fan base and there being some real characters. What do you think the vibe's going to be like this season?
The it's definitely going to be an interesting one because Bristol hasn't won a lot of games in the past. So I think it'll be a complete different atmosphere this year, you know, when we start winning more games regularly. And we're hoping to win a lot of games on home ice. You want to make that place your fortress. So there'll definitely be a good buzz around the rink this year.
Yeah, and if you were to, obviously for what you know about the team now and the roster, if there was anyone you would tell the fans to look out for, who they really need to watch, who would that be?
It's definitely got to be Brick Null, isn't he? He's a top goal scorer. So hopefully he gets his shooting sticks again this year. And Richie gets them the right ones. Richie likes to admire his big beard sometimes more than the right sticks. So yeah, hopefully he gets the right ones.
What about any players that maybe from last season that people might have overlooked? Is there anybody that you think he's going to have a class season this season and everyone's sleeping on him?
Yeah, Reece met them. He's a very talented player. Obviously it was first year in the league last year. He's a young guy too. He put up 40 points last year that not many people know for his first year in the league. Being a young guy, it's pretty good. And obviously the more games he's played, he's got more experience and he just get better every week.
Love that. That's class. So, I mean, we've seen clips of you getting fans fired up mid-game as well. You know, after fights and a bit of this and all sorts. We've witnessed it firsthand as well, haven't we, in that MK Cup final. So how do you feed off that atmosphere? Like, they've got to be a massive part of that this season.
Yeah, definitely getting the fans on board from the first couple of games this year is going to be important because although it's fun saying, "Oh, I've got a better team this year," it's actually a matter you actually have to do it. So
yeah,
hopefully we can get off the winning ways pretty quickly. Get everyone on board again.
And do you ever hear anything from the crowd? Like if someone shouts something, do you actually hear what they're saying out in the stands?
If the horns aren't going off in the building, yeah. Sometimes all them horns are blurring around the rink. It's hard, but yeah, we do hear sometimes, yeah.
Everyone has different answers to that, don't they?
Yeah.
Like some people are like, no, I'm locked in, you know, like focus and stuff. But we sit there and we think, surely he's just there to say that.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh no, I can hear. It fires me up too.
That's good. No, that's a good thing. And you know, so obviously you said that, you know, this summer you've been seeing family and stuff like that. But for those who don't know, have you been on the ice this summer? I know you've concocted a bit of a father-side team, haven't you?
Yeah. That was just for a bit of fun for a couple of nights. The home rink's got a little 3-on-3 tournament going on every couple of weeks. So I think the other boys weren't too happy with how stacked our team was, and we did win. Yeah. But apart from that, got Wednesday night skates most weeks, and I've been training with the Giants in the mornings most days.
Just a side question there as well. You know, like, and this might be a subjective question, so please, if you don't want to answer it, then don't. But you know, like you've seen Mac and Carter, they've took their steps up to doing that two-way now, and obviously Mac's there full time, isn't he? But you last season, you know, you sort of had a breakout season sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that your aspiration as well to sort of, obviously you're a Belfast lad.
Yeah.
But like, would that be, you know, the aim to get there? I know I don't want to sound disrespectful to Bristol and things like that because they've got an amazing project and stuff like that, but
is that the ultimate goal?
Yeah, of course. Belfast born and bred, so it's on my bucket list to play in Belfast and home ice in front of my family for a couple of years. That would be a dream of mine. Yeah
Love that. Fair play.
Cool. Just this is a little question. Some players who we've talked to say they've got like a ritual or an off-ice routine. Is that something you have, or is it are you a little bit superstitious as a player, or?
I wouldn't say I'm superstitious, but I do have a little stretch by myself before games to get myself focused and ready to go. I have my own headphones on in the change room because Reece Cochran on the music isn't the best. And especially Lipsy's on the music, it's it's not great either. So we usually put my own headphones in, get ready for the game. Sometimes a little bit of two-touch. I'm the best two-touch player on the team. Like to go get a couple of wins and then I'll go do my stretching.
Best at two-touch, best at penalty shots.
I know.
It's not bad, is it? I rate that. Out of interest, what you got on the headphones? And what have they got on the changing room? That's terrible.
Bit of Westlife.
The boys usually like listen to a bit of rap before the game. That makes me a bit, angry. I don't want to be angry right away. I usually just listen to something a bit more upbeat, a bit happier, get me in the mood for the game. Yeah, have a good warm up. That's the key.
I think it is Westlife, but you don't want to admit it, innit?
Yeah.
So he got off camera there. He's like, yeah, it was Westlife. Well, what are your goals for this year then? So, personally and as a team. Obviously for the team it's got to be playoffs, hasn't it? But what are your goals for this season?
I don't really set myself goals because I feel like that just puts pressure on yourself when you're playing. I would like to, if I could do exactly what I done last year, but better by a little bit over the next few years, just get slightly better and slightly better. That'd be a big goal of mine. Last year, I definitely done what I wanted to do, getting a bigger role in the team. I just want to build on that now.
And yeah, obviously, you say you want to get better and better, and you're still only in your early 20s. Yeah. But what does a better Cam Hamill look like this season?
Good question.
Yeah, definitely more goals coming from me. I went through little phases last year, scoring and then not scoring. I was still like assisting, obviously, quite a bit. Playing with Bailey Herwood and Nick Price and then Mitch as well for a good bit of the season last year. Very talented players. It's one of my stronger points from the D zone, getting the puck out to them boys, letting them do their thing. So if I could do that again, well, that's really what I'd like to do.
And if Bristol surprise everyone and make a bit of a playoff run, what would that mean to you after your journey so far? Being part of that. I know obviously you had the success in MK, but you said that you weren't as rated as you'd have liked to have been. But you're a solid figure in this Bristol team. So what would that mean to you?
Yeah, playing a key role in Bristol and making playoffs would be amazing because although the Milton Keynes year was pretty good and memorable as well, I didn't play a key role in that team. So at some points of the year, it didn't really feel like I was contributing to all the wins. Definitely this year when we were winning games, it felt a lot more special to me because I was actually producing to make those wins happen. So if that was to happen this year again, that'd be special, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, cool.
Well, we don't usually do this, but I think we're going to start doing this a little bit more because we like to sort of have interactions with you guys, obviously, but as well as the people who are following us. So we've asked in the Facebook forum for Bristol for some fan questions. We've got some fan questions for you. So these aren't from us. If there's any that are a bit left field, then can't blame us. But we've got some questions. So the first one was, this was a question where we sort of set it up being like, we're not going to reveal the identity, but what would you ask a Bristol Pitbull? So the first one was, what do you bring to the team that can boost our performance this year and get us to that playoff spot or higher in the league?
Yeah, I just keep on playing the way I'm playing. That gritty player definitely helps a team get the playoff spot. The long run running teams down, picking up points sometimes when you shouldn't be, especially away from home. Like it's going to be like Basingstoke was always a tough place to go on a Sunday. Whenever you're a bit tired and battered from the night before. So definitely playing the way I play usually and getting those extra points on the board would be good for us this year.
Okay, so what's this one? What's the game you look forward to the most? Gotta be Swindon, isn't it?
Yeah, Swindon and Solway for sure to play against my brother and the local derby. They're the two main ones that have got my list this year.
We might have to take a road trip,
You know what? I've got family that live in Wootton Bassett, which is just outside of Swindon.
Yeah.
So seeing that Swindon-Bristol derby would be
that'd be
bugger decent, wouldn't it?
They're good games, them ones.
That's like Hull Leeds, isn't it? Or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be it. How many goals or assists do they think they can reach at the end of the season if outfield? So obviously you are. How many goals or assists do you reckon you could reach by the end of the season?
I honestly don't. I say I don't like setting goals for myself.
Yeah, fair.
Just work on a bit from last year, a bit more than last year, and I'll be happy.
To be fair, last season you got 7 goals and 24 assists. So it's going to be hard to beat. So I think you're right there. Not setting yourself,
that's like
high goals.
That's like 0.8 points a game, and it is like 31 points in 51, maybe not, maybe a bit less, but still that's like solid in a team like Bristol was, where it was difficult to come by. That's quite solid. That so if you're upwards of 30 points, no one can win at that, can they? So that'd be good.
Last year there were some games that we weren't even scoring in. We would a load of games last year we didn't even score at all. So still doing that was a pretty good year for me. Yeah.
Okay. What's your favourite thing about the city of Bristol and for playing? And what's your favourite thing about playing for the Pitbulls?
The city, to be honest, everyone's so friendly. As soon as I arrived there, even just going to like the local shops and the pubs and stuff, everyone's so nice. Not sure if that's because it's always sunny down there and everyone's a bit happier. But yeah, I've noticed that everyone's really friendly there. It made my time a lot nicer there. And what was the other question?
Sorry, and then what's your favourite thing about playing for the Pitbulls?
Definitely the fans are a main point in that, because even though we weren't winning a lot of games, they were still coming every week and supporting us, regardless of the score. It definitely helped us a lot and encouraged us most weeks. Some games were so short benched and playing a top end team. We knew it was going to be a battle from the start, and for the fans to show up from the results a couple of weeks before, it was pretty special for us.
Yes,
cool. Okay, so final fan question. Where do you think Bristol can finish this season? Brackets, hopefully playoffs.
Yeah, I'd like to think at least playoffs and try and push mid-table or above would be great.
Love that. Run at the cup?
Yeah, we'll have to have a good start this season, which I was talking about earlier. To get everyone on board off the bat, it's going to be a main point of ours. We've got to start strong. Everyone's probably looking at Bristol this year, got a lot stronger. So if we can get off to a good start and make the cup, that's what I was saying to the lads last year. We can play so well at home. The fans are behind us so much; it gives us so energy. If we get like a semi-final cup, literally anything could happen.
Literally, yeah.
Just if we can get there, that'd be cool.
That's class. We usually finish with the last question. So obviously, if you had one message for the Bristol Pitbulls fans, what would that be?
Just keep supporting us like you've done last year. It was a tough year last year. Hopefully it's going to be better this year. I'm sure it will be. If everyone keeps on turning out the numbers they've done last year, it'll be a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Cam, brilliant having you on. We'll be following Bristol closely as we do with every team, and something tells me the Pitbulls the fans are gonna get a surprise, and there's gonna be a few shock results in there this season. Yeah. So best of luck with the season, and thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.